Hello and welcome back to the Advanced Accounting module. In this lesson, we will discuss how to configure the Odoo accounting module for accounting-specific settings for accounting imports, taxes, currencies, and customer invoices. To begin, let's click on the accounting icon from the main dashboard and then select Configuration Settings. As you can see by looking at the user profile in the top right, I am currently logged in as Mitchell Admin, our user with Administration Settings access rights, which allows us to view the Configuration tab in the Accounting module. Note that we can access this same view by selecting the Settings icon and then selecting Accounting in the left column. Again, we can view the Settings icon as our user has Administration Settings access rights. As discussed in the previous lesson, the fiscal localization should be configured correctly before using Odoo Accounting. As shown in the previous lesson, we have set our fiscal localization to United Kingdom Accounting. The second tab under Settings is Accounting Import. This section is where you can choose how you want to set up your chart of accounts by allowing you to bring forward your opening trial balance. This can either be reviewed manually or by looking at the end-of-year balances, or imported, which looks at a full history. Clicking the teal link for Review Manually will take you to the chart of accounts configuration, which we will cover in more depth in a later lesson. Clicking the teal link for Import will take us to the Accounting Import Guide. We will discuss this in more detail in a separate opening balance lesson. The next heading covers tax configurations. The default taxes ensure that the correct tax code is automatically inserted when generating supplier or customer invoices. For UK companies, the default tax codes are Standard Rate Sales 20% for sales and Standard Rate Purchase 20% for purchases. The Prices field allows you to define how taxes are calculated in the price, either as tax included or tax excluded. This setting cannot be changed after an invoice is created. The tax return periodicity configuration lets you set up your tax period as annually, semi-annually, every 4 months, quarterly, every 2 months, or monthly. We will set this up as quarterly, as most UK companies do. The reminder fields let you set up a reminder for yourself after or before the quarter is due. For example, by setting it as 7 days, the system will remind us of our tax return after 7 days of the due date. Under the journal type, we will set it up as MISC operation. Although you can set up a separate journal type for your closing entry, for example, VAT journal, it's not essential. We will discuss different journal types in a later lesson. The rounding method helps define the configuration of rounding tax for orders and invoices. You can enforce the system to do the rounding by line item or global. The EU intra-community distance selling configuration is related to buying from one EU member country to another. Because the UK is not an EU member country anymore, we will not enable this configuration. The Verify VAT Number configuration automatically verifies the VAT number when the customer-supplier is set up. The verification is done against the European VIES service database, which mostly contains data for EU member countries. Again, this configuration is EU-specific, and we will not enable it. As previously mentioned, Odoo Accounting supports both the cash basis and accrual basis method. We will only briefly discuss the cash basis configuration, as the accrual accounting method is more common in line with industry standards. The fiscal country configuration will automatically be set to the country as determined by the fiscal localization package we previously installed. Please refer to the previous lesson to review how to install a localization package. In the Currencies section, set your company currency to GBP if you have configured your database as instructed in the previous lesson. If you deal with foreign customers and therefore foreign currency, enable those currencies by clicking the teal hyperlink labeled Currencies. Enable all the currencies that your current customers, suppliers, trade with. The automatic currency rate configuration lets you set Odoo to fetch the exchange rate for the currencies you have enabled from several providers. Simply click the drop-down menu for the service field to select the required provider. In our case, we will set the provider to xe.com for your company and set your interval as daily to have your currency rates fetched automatically every day. The final section of this lesson is Customer Invoices, where you can configure the settings associated with accounts receivables. With the snail mail settings, you could send invoices and follow-up reports through postal mail worldwide, all from within your database. The customer address configuration enables you to set a customer address within the invoice that's different from the company and delivery address. The warnings configuration allows you to set a warning against a customer account. We will review this feature in further detail during the accounts receivable lesson. The cash rounding configuration is only visible if you have installed the point-of-sale module and is irrelevant when using Odoo Accounting as a standalone module. To learn more about the point-of-sale module, please visit the POS Academy course. The Intrastat configuration is an EU-specific functionality that allows you to collect and produce reports based on movements of goods and services based on HS code, a UK commodity code, and country of origin. The default Incoterm configuration allows you to define Incoterms against the customer invoice, making your invoice compliant with the requirements of the courier customs when sending goods abroad. Incoterms are standardized rules which define the responsibility of the buyer and seller. For example, when you buy goods from China on an ex-work basis, then you are basically asking the supplier to just produce the goods for you, whereas it is your responsibility to bring the goods to Chinese port, pay appropriate fees to agencies, or apply for appropriate licenses to send the goods to the UK. Receiving the goods in the UK by paying duty and arranging the transportation to bring the goods to your doorstep. Whereas if you buy something on a delivered duty-paid DDP basis, then it's the supplier's responsibility to make the goods arrive at your doorstep. The sale receipt configuration enables you to create receipts without customer information, which is useful for companies with multiple stores that process sales transactions in their accounting system at the end of the day. The default terms and conditions configuration enables you to copy and paste your terms and conditions or put a link to your website. Anything entered here will appear on your PDF copies of invoices, orders, or quotations. The sale credit limit configuration allows you to control your debtor's credit limit. We will review this in more detail during the accounts receivable lesson. The taxes in company currency setting allows the amount in default currency to be displayed on invoices issued in a foreign currency. This helps show the customer the equivalent value in the company's currency, which is calculated based on the exchange rate at the invoice posting date. To enhance authenticity, the authorized signatory on invoice allows you to add legal signature to your invoice. That concludes this lesson. In the next lesson, we will discuss the remaining configuration options under the Settings menu, including customer payments, vendor bills, vendor payments, digitalization, default accounts, bank and cash, fiscal periods, analytics, reporting, store no accounting, and accounting firms mode. Thanks for watching, and until next time.